to Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Barnabas Tone.
Wow! Did you see that, Barry?
Of course I saw that intro. I'm sitting right here.
Anyway, fans, this is me, your co-host, Frederick Allen Seto. But you can just call me Al. Anyway, Scrapyard Diecast superfan Miss V Green sent in some Star Wars-themed cars for us to host our newest fan-based tournament. And I am so excited, I want to get right into it. I've already broken up the racers into 2 teams. I call Team 1 the light side. Our first racer is R2-D2. Followed by Mr. Yoder. And next we have Jake Skywalker. Coming after that is Han Solo. And finally we have Farm Boy Luke. And conversely we have Team 2, aka the Dark Side. Starting with BB-8. Next up is Grogu. Followed by Billow Ducks. And then we got this big fella, Jabber D. Huts. And lastly we have Darty Vader. Furthermore, I put together this handy-dandy little tournament bracket. And fans, make sure to follow us on all social media where we always have the latest bracket posted, so you can follow along at home. Plus, for this tournament, we're racing on an all-new, all-different track. Just wait till you see it. It is literally out of this world. I think the fans are really in for something special. Now let's get up to the gate so we can get this turn. Hey, who the heck are you guys? You can't just barge in here.
Quiet you will be.
Quiet I will be.
Host this tournament, let me you will.
Host this tournament, let you I will.
Al, what are you talking about? We're not letting these people host this tournament. We're under contract. I get paid over.
Do not choke on your aspirations.
Wait, we might need them later.
What high horse did you step off of thinking that you could just come in here and command me to
Sleep. Sleep. Now, shall we begin? I'm your host for this event, Mary Sue.
And from Team Lightside, Mr. Yoder am I.
And from the team that will one day rule the galaxy, I am your inevitable winner, Darth Vader. Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
At the Carbonite Gate we are. R2-D2 on the right. For the light side we have.
And on your left is BB-8 for the dark side.
Begun. The countdown has.
BB-8 leads.
Over the seat is. To the replay we go.
That was so wizard.
If you notice, The carbonite gate goes up ever so slightly faster on BB-8's side, and he uses that to his advantage. He gets the jump off the line and leads down the Nimbus neighborhood.
Unfair advantages lead to cheating, and cheating leads to
Winning.
not going to say that I was.
Gentlemen, may we please focus on the race? Once they go past the Tattoo Inn and make their way into the turn, BB-8 hits Boba on his trusty steed, and that monster starts flailing his arms crazily.
That guy used to work for me, but he became so full of himself once he became a dynamo.
Not the way you pronounce that, that is.
I care as little about that as he does being a crime boss. But what I do care about is the little orange one made the little blue one crash. I can feel the anger flowing through him. This is why he is on Team Dark Side.
But Crash as well did BB-8.
Yes, he had to crash because the rule of two.
Not how work that does.
Gentlemen, please, the race.
Yes, let's move on. Neither of these malfunctioning droids were able to make it past the first turn. I find their lack of driving skills highly disturbing, so they each get an X. Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Back at the gate for start of Heat 2 we are.
Our droids are rebooted and back in their same lanes.
Again, began the countdown has.
BB-8 leads again.
Spin R2 does.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Again, BB-8 is first out of the carbonite gate and has a much bigger lead going down the Nimbus neighborhood. And this time, they both make it around the Tattoo Inn.
But Spin, they both do.
Yes, because of the rule of two.
Explain to you this rule. Someone must.
Meanwhile, they both go into much too far in reverse.
BB-8 turns himself around, but calculates that he does not have enough momentum to make it across the line to jump to hyperdrive. So instead, he does what a true member of the dark side would do. He sabotages his opponent. Expertly, he shifts into reverse and crashes into R2 hard enough to end his aspirations at victory. Like I said during the race, impressive. Most impressive.
Well, what's not impressive is this scorecard. With neither droid being able to make it to Echo Base, it's another set of red X's.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
This could be the final heat, if either of them can make it across the line.
Now is the moment to unleash the power of the dark side.
Good luck, little droids. BB-8 out front. They're gaining speed.
Crash they do.
Wait, what just happened? Did R2 just land in your helmet and hyperjump to Echo Base? Is there a secret warp in your helmet?
Analyze this in the replay we must.
Every single heat, BB-8 is the first out of the carbonite gate, and progressively increased his lead. And this time, they both make it around the Tattoo Inn.
Even accelerate through much too far they do. Rule of two this must be.
However, tragedy strikes back when BB-8 misses the jump and gets lost floating aimlessly in the asteroid belt.
Crash as well, R2 does, or so we thought.
Correct. Instead, he gets an instant win.
How is it that he crashes into that giant helmet of yours and is warped across the finish line for an instant win?
Because you do not know the power of the dark side.
Like cheating sounds to me, it does.
Lord Vader, it seems like your sorcerer's ways did not help you conjure up a win or give you clairvoyance enough to know that your opponent would use your hidden warp to cross the line.
How a warp drive hidden in a giant helmet floating in space equals an instant win? Understand, I do not.
Because you do not know the power of the dark side.
Well, understanding or not, R2 has put a win on the scoreboard.
Not a win. An instant win.
Whatever, he will move on to race again in race 6. But before that, join us again next time for race 2, where Grogu from Team Darkside will be racing against you, Mr. Yoda.
My best. For my team, I will try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
And on that unusual end, this is Mary Sue signing off for all of us here at the broadcast booth. Until next time, may the Force be with us. Always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue. As you could probably tell, things are a little different here at the Scrapyard. Today, I am joined by my co-host, Darth Vader.
And since he is racing for the first time, Master Yoda won't be joining us in the broadcast booth today. Plus, since he is racing for the light side, please join me in ruling the Force to make him crash into the fiery pits of Much Too Far.
No. That's not how we do things. We wish the Force to be with all of us. But, speaking about Team Lightside, let's look at today's races. Our fellow co-host, Master Yoda, takes to the track for the first time.
And racing for Team Darkside is Grogu.
How is it that Grogu is on the dark side?
Because it has to be a galactic crime to be that cute.
Point taken. Now, let's get up to the Carbonite Gate and get this race started.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
On your left, we have Grogu, and on your right, we have Mr. Yoda. As Mr. Yoda might say, to both races, good luck, I wish you.
Except Master Yoda.
Yoda leads. Yoda crashes. And Grogu stops just in time. Settle down. I think we need to take a closer look at what just happened in the replay. Let us see what went wrong in this heat. Master Yoda had quite an impressive lead coming down the Nimbus neighborhood, and it actually kept increasing as they went around the Tatooine.
But then, an unforeseen tragedy.
Is that a power cable loose on the track? At the speed Master Yoda was traveling, there was no way he could have avoided it. And as a result, he goes crashing the rest of the way through the loop and Much Too Far.
Yes, an unforeseen tragedy. Too bad he did not fall in the lava.
Luckily, however, we can see the same fate would not befall Grogu. He stopped just in time. It's almost as if he knew it was there.
Yes, an unforeseen tragedy.
What did you just say?
I said it's time to look at the scorecard.
Don't wave your hand at me. You know that trick won't work on me. What do you think I am, a Gungan? With Master Yoda's unfortunate accident and Grogu having to pull to the side, unfortunately, no one scores a win in this heat.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are back at the Carbon Night Gate for the start of Heat 2. Master Yoda might still be a little shook up from that accident in the last heat. It seems like he can't line himself up correctly in his lane.
A mind trick, no doubt.
What?
It is a mind trick trying to fool his opponent into a false sense of security, making Grogu believe he has the higher ground, and I hate the high ground.
Apparently there is no time for him to straighten up because the safety droids have cleared the track. This race is a go. Grogu leads. Yoda catches up.
Yoda has fallen into the lava. His mind trick has failed. He has lulled no one into a false sense of security. I spit on the high ground.
Fine, fine. Slow it down. Let us take a closer look in the replay.
Here we can see Master Yoda's failed attempt at a mind trick.
Maybe this attempt was payback for the mysterious power cable in the middle of the track in the last heat.
I do not know what you are referring to.
Well, mind trick or not, it did not seem to work out for Master Yoda, because Grogu got a massive lead out of the gate and down the Nimbus neighborhood. He caught up to Grogu and actually starts bumping him from behind.
Yes, since his mind trick failed, he resorts to dark side tactics.
However, it did not work in his favor, because while he does manage to successfully bump Grogu off course, he himself falls into the lava.
Yes, because Grogu had the high ground. How do you like it? How does it feel to burn?
Well, actually... Technically, they both got burned because neither of them made it across the line. So it is yet another set of X's for both racers.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are back at the Carbon Night Gate for the start of Heat 3. Mr. Yoda must have hit his shields at the last possible moment because somehow he miraculously made it out of the lava.
But he most likely sustained some damage. It should be child's play for Grogu to defeat Mr. Yoda. But if it ends in a draw, then I will enjoy killing Master Yoda in the next heat.
What?
If no one wins after Heat 3, it will be sudden death, and I will get to strike down Mr. Yoda.
That is not at all how sudden death works.
A force choke, perhaps.
No, absolutely not. I'll explain it to you if we happen to get there. The safety droids have cleared the track, and this race is ready to commence. Yoda leads. Grogu trying to catch up. Mr. Yoda hits the secret hyperdrive. Grogu gives up.
No.
Mr. Yoda warps across the line to Echo Base.
All the previous heats were a mind trick for this.
Okay, slow it down. We'll take a closer look in the replay.
This whole race was a mind trick.
Relax. We'll get there in due time. Mr. Yoda rips out of the gate and then has a big lead as he leaves the Nimbus neighborhood. Then his lead gets even bigger as he goes around the Tattoo Inn. It's almost like...
The whole race was a mind trick.
I was going to say it was almost like he had hidden retro rockets. And and you would think with the speed he had attained, he would easily clear the jump at the hyperdrive, but instead he took the hidden warp.
This whole race was a mind trick.
And upon seeing all this, Grogu just gives up, and Mr. Yoda makes it safely across the line at Echo Base. At the last possible moment, Mr. Yoda pulls out the hidden warp drive instant win. Unbelievable. While technically no one crossed the line, Mr. Yoda did use the hidden warp to get to Echo Base for an instant win, making him tonight's winner.
This whole race was a mind trick.
Yes, we know. But, mind trick or not, Mr. Yoda has secured the last wildcard spot in Race 6, which puts him on the path to ultimately face you.
No!
But before we see that, Jake Skywalker will face Billow Dux in race number 3. It would be a galactic crime to miss it. Until then, this is your host, Mary Sue, signing off and wishing that the Force be with us always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue, and by the Force, I have both of my co-hosts, Dark Evader and Mr. Yoda, back in the booth again after Mr. Yoda's big win in Race 2.
It was not a win. It was a mind trick.
Jealous you are. But if of tricks we are speaking, explain how your helmet warp a win it equals.
It was not a win. It was an instant win. And it works because you do not understand the power of the dark side.
Gentlemen, please. Creatures all over the galaxy did not tune in to hear us bicker. Let's focus on Race 3 and today's races. And in the interest of full disclosure, I should let you know, racing for Team Lightside is the man who I taught everything he knows, Jake Skywalker.
Much anger I sense in him.
Yes. Maybe he can be turned to the dark side.
And speaking of the dark side, for Team Dark we have Bill O'Dux.
For our team's sake, I hope his driving is better than his aim.
Broadside of a sandcrawler hit he could not.
Focus, please.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are at the Carbon Night Gate. On your left, we have Jake Skywalker. And on your right, we have Bill O'Dux. Good luck, racers. Jake leads.
Passes Bill he does.
Jake stalls.
Bill makes it across.
Let's take a closer look in the replay. I don't understand what went wrong in this heat with Jake. He had an early lead out of the Carbon Night Gate and was well ahead down the Nimbus neighborhood. But then as he went around the Tattoo Inn, he just kind of stops as he gets to that one house, almost as if
A feeling of home not felt in many lonely years.
Do not try to make excuses. The trooper did as he was trained and seized the opportunity to pass. And he increased his lead around much too far.
But Jake slowed down and was literally pulled back, almost as if
A feeling of home not felt in many lonely years.
yes.
What are you two blathering on about? Look at the way Bill Ducks sails across the jump.
But he's landing like his aim it is. He misses on both accounts.
It does not matter. This trooper has made the dark side proud, as he is the first racer in 3 races to actually cross the line and make it to Echo Base. Personally, I think that's so wizard.
Calm yourself down before you blow a breathing tube. He won a heat, not the race.
I find your lack of faith highly disturbing.
Able to cross the line, Billow Ducks was. Hopefully now with his nostalgia settled, his head in the game Jake can now get.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Back at the gate for Heat 2 we are.
Billow Ducks put on quite the race.
Of course. He's been trained by the Empire.
Well, hopefully, Jake has figured out whatever was his struggle around the Tattoo Inn, and he can put a win on the board. Bill leads. Jake flips.
The trooper is all alone. He has it now.
Make the jump he does, but the landing stick he cannot.
I still don't understand what is wrong with Jake and why he can't make it past the Tattoo Inn. He had such a measurable lead out of the Carbon Night Gate.
Frustration I feel in him. And anger.
Yes. Anger. I feel it too. Perhaps he cannot make it through a turn, but he can be turned. Turned to the dark side.
Why don't we instead focus on your teammate and how he sailed smoothly through much too far, and then he easily made the jump to hyperdrive, which led him to skid his way to victory at Echo Base.
The trooper has done well, but Jake has proven interesting. Most interesting.
More interesting still is the scorecard. Billow Duck's second win he has achieved. I fear little hope Jake has left.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Back at the gate for the final heat we are.
Billow Ducks has 2 wins. This heat is pretty much just for show. Even if Jake wins, it won't be enough to move on to the next round. So there's not really much he can do.
There is one thing. He can focus on his anger and be turned.
Oh, will you stop it with that? The countdown is about to begin.
Bill does.
Jake makes it through. Trooper makes the jump. Jake hits the wall.
Complete pandemonium we have. The replay we must watch.
Billow Ducks was first out of the Carbonite Gate, and he had the lead through the Nimbus neighborhood.
And finally, through the turn Jake makes it.
I think the trooper was so surprised to see him that he temporarily lost control.
But regain control he does, and keeps his lead through much too far.
Trooper Billow Ducks actually makes the jump, but then
Jake embraces his anger and pulls victory from defeat. He uses the warp for an instant win.
I still don't understand how that works.
Exactly. Because you do not understand the power of the dark side. The Trooper is the first racer to score a perfect victory in this tournament. Good job, Trooper. You've done your training and the Empire proud. However, Jake embraced his anger and scored an instant win. Now his journey to the dark side is complete. And for losing and embarrassing the Empire, the Trooper will be fed to the Sarlacc.
Can we try to focus here? Jake will move on to the next round, and he becomes the first racer to secure his spot in the semi-finals.
You see, the dark side is already making him strong and powerful. He will easily win there. I have foreseen it.
Well, before you foresee anything, the rest of us have to regularly see the next race.
Yes, race 4 it shall be the next time we meet.
And on that unusual end, this is Mary Sue, signing off for all of us here at the broadcast booth. Until next time, may the Force be with us. Always.
The Trooper is to be thrown in the Sarlacc. Take him away.
Wait. I have a really bad feeling about this.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue. Joining me are my co-hosts, Darth Vader and Mr. Yoda. And we have a great race lineup today.
Correct you are. Han Solo against his employer, Jabber the Hutt's racing he is. And Han Solo record on the Kissel Run he also has.
Pure luck. He does not have the skill equal to compete with someone who has embraced the dark side.
You mean like we saw with Jake Skywalker in the last race?
Actually, I was talking about myself.
Pride and overconfidence also ways of the dark side they are.
As is winning.
So claim you do, but nothing have you proven thus far.
Gentlemen, please. How many times do I have to say it? Creatures from all over the galaxy did not tune in to hear us bicker. Let's focus on race 4 and today's races. For the light side, we have the aforementioned current parsec record holder, Han Solo. And for the dark side, we have Jabba the Hutt.
And what record does he hold?
A criminal one. Twice he was voted Crime Boss of the Year. And in the same year it was.
While that is impressive, let us work our way up to the Carbonite Gate and get this race started.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
After that lengthy intro, let's not waste any more time and get to our first of 3 heats started.
On your left, Han Solo is, and on your right, find Jabba the Hutt you can.
Good luck to both races. Hans leads. Jabba flips. Han hit the warp.
Excellent pilot he truly is.
He's at Echo Base. Incredible. Let's go to the replay. Wow, is this guy an ace or what? It would be impossible that anyone could ever drive his own vehicle better than he could. Well, except for me, of course.
What?
Oh, apologies. Did I say that out loud? Never mind. Moving on. Han Solo flies out of the Carbonite Gate like a falcon.
Then, in the Nimbus neighborhood, incredible lead he has.
Then the slug goes belly up around the Tatooine.
All over the races for him.
And in addition, Han Solo rockets through much too far and then hits the secret warp drive.
And appears safely at Echo Base he does.
Wait, so if that's an instant win, Does that mean this whole race is over already?
What it actually means is you do not know the power of the dark side. This Han Solo is someone I'll be watching very closely. He was able to win the race with the instant win on his first try. Impressive. Most impressive.
Well, fans, I don't think that outcome was something anyone was expecting.
I was expecting it because I am truly the only one who understands the power of the dark side.
To prove it, your chance has arrived, because next to race you are.
You mean next to win, am I? Oh, now you have me doing it. I will be the next to win.
Well, we'll have to wait until next time to find out. Thank you all for watching. Until we meet again, may the Force be with us, always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mere Sue. We have a big race today. Our co-host, Dart Evader, is finally taking to the track.
And finally, see if his skill is as big as his mouth we will. Representing Team Darkside he will be.
And also taking to the track for the first time, we have Farm Boy Luke.
On Team Lightside he is. And a strong connection to the Force this boy has.
May the Force be with both races. Now, please join us as we make our way up to the Carbonite Gate.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
On the left, Darth Vader is.
Well, I have to admit, that is one intimidating looking vehicle.
Size matters not.
And on your right, all alone in that sand speeder is Farm Boy Luke.
No, alone he is not. The Force is his co-pilot.
Vader leads.
Lost the boy is.
Vader all alone. Oh no, I don't believe it. He loses it right before crossing the line. That is not how I expected this race to start.
Yes. Cloudy sometimes the future is.
Well, yes, but this one now is technically in the past, so let's take a look.
Large was Evader's lead out of the Carbonite Gate.
Then what happened to Farm Boy Luke?
Make it past the Tatooine he does not.
But Darth Vader wastes no time looking back. Instead, he tears down the track, taking full advantage of Farm Boy's misfortune. He is blindingly fast around much too far, and takes the jump to hyperdrive at full speed.
But overconfidence a trait of the dark side is, and to his destruction it leads.
I don't know about destruction, but he did hit that wall really, really hard. I hope he had his helmet on.
Always on it must be. Breathe without it he cannot. Also hide his pepperoni pizza face it does.
Oh, Master Yoda, that is no way to talk about our co-host.
But true it is.
Well, what else is true is even though he got so close to that finish line, he did not make it to Echo Base. So no one scores a win in this heat.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Well, let's see if our co-host was able to shake off having his bell rung in that last heat.
Because bell-shaped his helmet is.
That's not what I meant.
Like a bell, a big loud ding-dong he is.
Also, not what I meant. Again, Vader leads.
Again, lost the boy is.
And slides across the line.
On his big loud ding-dong bell-shaped helmet.
I cannot understand what is going on with the farm boy.
Yes, troubling it is.
Okay, given that the X-34 can't exactly keep up with the TIE fighter, the farm boy does manage to keep a somewhat respectable pace with Darth Vader through the Nimbus neighborhood.
But make it past the Tattoo Inn he has not.
Is he purposely crashing into the Tattoo Inn?
Very strange all this seems to be.
We will have to get to the bottom of that later. But for now, notice again how Evader has his targets locked in on that finish line.
Yes, fast he is through much too far.
Perhaps too fast. Because he can't stick the landing off the jump to hyperdrive.
Correct. Because used to having the high ground he is not.
Regardless, he does somehow manage to slide his way across the finish line for the first win in this race.
Force-pulled himself he must have. Scuffed his bell-shaped helmet must be.
Oh, Master Yoda, behave.
Ding-dong, bellhead.
Unfortunately, the farm boy has yet to finish a heat. Meanwhile, Darth Vader scores a win. One more and the dark side will take the overall win for tonight.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are back at the Carbonite Gate for the final heat of today's race. A win here to tie things up is the farm boy's last hope.
No, there is another.
Oh, you mean if he hits the instant win warp in the jump to hyperdrive?
Very poetic it would be to beat Evader with the trick pulled from an even bigger ding-dong helmet.
Now, Master Yoda, may I remind you, we are supposed to be impartial judges and remain completely unattached.
Unattached I am. The only attachment I want to see is Evader's face to the final metal barrier.
The farm boy crashes again!
Strike 3 it is.
Evader head over heels across the line.
Helmet over heels, mean you?
Well, the farm boy looked good each and every time coming out of the Carbonite Gate, and even going down the Nimbus neighborhood.
But make it past the Tattoo Inn, he could not. Troubling it is. Something wrong, perhaps.
We may never know, but what we do know for sure was Darth Vader was like a guided missile through much too far. Then over the jump to hyperdrive. And once more he crashes his way into Echo Base and skids across the line for the win.
But still, trouble me this boy does. Reach out to him with the Force I will. Luke. Farm boy Luke.
Yes, Master Yoda. I hear you.
What troubles you, farm boy?
It's my mean Uncle Owen. If he found out I went past the Tattoo Inn, he'd never let me go to the Academy. This season, or any season. I mean, he doesn't even let me go to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. I'd be grounded for life.
There the answer we have. Being grounded. More powerful than the dark side it is.
Maybe. But tonight, the dark side was powerful enough to get Darth Vader his second win, making him the overall winner for tonight.
And secured his place in the semifinals he has.
And who knows, Master Yoda, if things go well for you in the next race, it may be you whom he has to face in the semifinals.
Yes. And perhaps for avoiding crashing so much, next time a stormtrooper helmet wearing he will be.
What? Why is that?
Because nothing can a stormtrooper hit.
And on that note, friends, while Master Yoda finishes cracking himself up, I will bid you all farewell until we meet next time. May the Force be with us. Always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue. What an exciting race we have today. We will be finding out who will get the last opening in the semi-finals and will ultimately face my co-host, Darth Vader.
You mean they will lose to me in the semi-finals?
Well, someone is certainly full of confidence.
It is not overconfidence. I will win. I have foreseen it.
Before then, let's find out who will win today. Both of our racers are representing Team Lightside. First, we have the very spunky droid, R2-D2. Followed by our other regular co-host, Mr. Yoda. Now, let's get ourselves up to the Carbonite Gate and get this thrilling race started.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
On the left of your screen is R2-D2, and on your right is Mr. Yoda.
Both are future losers.
How do you fit that ego inside that helmet?
With the Force, all things are possible.
Then use it to close your cyber-assisted mouth because this race is about to start. They are even.
The droid proves useless.
Mr. Yoda loses it at the hyperjump.
He should have tried spinning. That's a good trick.
As the Carbonite Gate goes up, both racers had an excellent start, and they maintained tightly on one another as they come down the Nimbus neighborhood. But, like so many of our other races, trouble starts once they get to the Tatooine.
It is because of the sand. I hate sand. It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere.
Well, we do not know if it was the sand, but something caused R2-D2 to flip and lose it. He roof slides from the Tatooine all the way to much too far.
But even better was watching Yoda miss the jump and get lost somewhere in space. He went from being the last Jedi to the lost Jedi.
Without trying to inflate Vader's ego any further, he is correct. With both races unable to finish, no one puts a win on the scorecard in this heat.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Fortunately, the Rogue Squadron was flying through the area, and they were able to get Mr. Yoda back to the Carbonite Gate so we could start Heat 2. How lucky for us!
I do not need luck. The Force is my ally.
This isn't about you.
You are correct. It is about watching these two lose.
What I'm starting to lose is my patience. Good luck to both races.
I don't need luck. The Force is my ally.
Oh, shush! Lucky for you, the countdown is starting.
I just said I don't need luck. The Force is my ally.
Oh, shut up! R2 leads. Yoda stalls. Wait!
An instant win.
Again, a beautiful start as soon as the gate goes up.
Then the droid pulls ahead coming down from the Nimbus neighborhood.
But then Mr. Yoda manages to catch up to R2, and I think he uses the Force to make the little droid spin.
Bah! A simple use of the Force. Everyone knows size matters not.
And apparently there was some type of miscalculation by Mr. Yoda because he goes hard into the wall.
I bet you wishing wearing a helmet he was. Ding dong, bellhead. But even better, to add insult to injury, that little droid uses my secret warp for the instant win.
I'm still not sure how that works exactly.
Of course you do not know how it works, because you do not understand the power of the dark side. With his instant win, the droid has won the race.
And that plucky little droid will be facing you in the semi-finals.
I do not care. What matters is he eliminated that long-eared frog from this tournament.
That's no way to talk about our co-hosting partner.
He is no partner of mine. But perhaps someday, someone who will be my partner, or should I say, apprentice, is Jake Skywalker. We will find out in the next race how he is proceeding in his journey to the dark side.
No. That's not what we will find out. We will find out how he measures up to the ace pilot Han Solo. So please join us next time. And until then, may the Force be with us. Always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue. Today is a big day. I am finally reunited with both my co-hosts, Mr. Yoda and Darth Vader.
To all watching, my greetings I send.
And to all watching, I say, subscribe to this channel or you will feel the power of a fully operational battle station.
Darth, that is no way to speak to our fans.
Then can I force choke them?
No, of course not. We're supposed to be telling them the importance of today's race.
Correct you are. Once, both members of the light side they were. Now, the Parsec record holder, his former friend he must face. For on Team Dark Side he now is. And fallen to the dark side, Skywalker has.
And once his journey is complete, he will take his place by my side as my apprentice.
No. Again, that's not why we are here. The winner of today's race will secure his place in the finals.
And then he will secure his place by my side, as I have foreseen.
Stop saying that. That is not how this works.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
On your left, we have Han Solo, the only racer to advance by hitting I can't believe I'm saying this, the instant win on his first try.
You do not know the
Power of the dark side, no you not.
That line belongs to me.
Gentlemen, show some decorum. On your right is Jake Skywalker, seemingly now the most bitter man in the universe. Well, for what it's worth, good luck to both racers. Solo flips!
Alone Skywalker is.
And crossing the line using my beautiful roof slide maneuver.
Wanting to be your apprentice. Actually, he seems to be.
Yes, because I have foreseen it.
Oh, hush! Skywalker seems to have the smallest lead coming out of the Carbonite Gate, and going down the Nimbus neighborhood.
I am surprised Han Solo could keep that pile of junk on the track.
And yet, he doesn't keep it on the track long, because Han Solo roof slides coming out of the turn around the Tattoo Inn.
Maybe your helmet loan him, you should.
Or maybe he can use your ears as roll bars.
Gentlemen, may we continue, please? Skywalker easily blasts through much too far knowing he's all alone.
But with too much speed, the jump to hyperdrive he takes.
Not too much speed if he was trying to impress me by copying my signature finish.
You expect us to believe he purposely finished sliding on his roof to impress you?
He is only acting in the way the Force has anticipated. Everything is progressing as I have foreseen it.
Yes, we all know. Now will you shut up so we can continue? Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. As I was about to say... Jake Skywalker puts the first win on the scorecard, because whether on purpose or not, he was able to roof slide his way across the line for the first win in this race.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are, after both racers have made it successfully back to the Carbonite Gate.
Unfortunately, upright both are as well.
In this heat, Han Solo is looking for the tie, and Skywalker is looking for the win.
And his place at my side.
Not one more time out of you.
You are not the boss of me.
Yes, I know. My prune-faced grandfather is the boss of you.
Only until I have my apprentice. Then I will rule the galaxy.
What did I just say about that?
Neck they are!
Impressive.
They both make the jump! But only Skywalker makes it across the line.
Most impressive. But at this point, Han Solo will have to disintegrate Skywalker for me to even consider him as my apprentice.
No, there will be no disintegrations this time. Once again, both racers display Jedi Master level reaction time as soon as the Carbonite Gate goes up.
But quickly, a lead Skywalker begins to build.
Yes, I can feel his anger growing.
That said, Han Solo is following right behind Skywalker, looking for his chance to pass.
Even through much too far, the leader either one could be.
Then they both take the jump to hyperdrive and both hit the landing incredibly hard. Furthermore, as they come into Echo Base, Skywalker is actually gaining momentum as he slides across the line.
Possible? How can this be?
It is his rage. I can feel it. Bubbling and building up inside of him.
Perhaps, but what he is building up for certain is wins on the scorecard.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Back at the gate for the final heat we are.
Skywalker already has the wins necessary to advance to the next round. And again, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Han Solo has to hit the secret warp for the instant win to deliver an upset.
The only one who will be upset and embarrassed is the smuggler. Once my apprentice crosses the line for his third win.
I'm done with you. Just start the countdown.
Lead Skywalker does.
Skywalker skips. Solo in the lead. He misses the jump. Skywalker hits the warp.
Believable this is not.
This is even better than I had hoped.
Wow. Impressive. Most impressive. As I mentioned, an instant win was needed, but I was not expecting that.
Expecting that no one was.
Except me. I told you all at the beginning that Han Solo would be left embarrassed. Look how my apprentice goes into a controlled spin to feed into Han Solo's overconfidence.
Allowing for a dangerous pass, that does.
Exactly. Han Solo let his ego get the better of him and passes my apprentice, putting him in a horrible position for the jump to hyperdrive.
He would have made it had he just bypassed the compressor. That's what I would have done had I been piloting his vehicle. Much better than him, may I add.
Now the time for this, it is not.
Correct. Because now is time to talk about how, after executing a devastating setup, leaving Solo lost in space, my apprentice hits the secret warp, taking him to Echo Base for an instant win. Winning twice in the opening heats and then hitting the secret warp in the final heat for an instant win makes my apprentice's win the perfect victory, while also making Han Solo's total embarrassment complete. After this shame, that scruffy smuggler won't even be able to get a job in the Outer Rim as a nerf herder.
Jake's win also secured his place in the finals of this competition.
Like I said, his victory was perfect. Are you now starting to see how powerful he has become by turning to the dark side?
How powerful it is, we shall see in the next race. Perhaps even over a droid. Victory achieved, you cannot.
Bring me my vehicle. I will race him right now. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Now, let's settle down. We will all have to wait until we meet back here next time for semifinals race 2. Until then, on behalf of myself and my fellow co-hosts, this is Mary Sue, ending transmission. And may the Force be with us. Always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue. This is the last semi-final race.
Also the last chance for the light side it is.
Correct you are, Mr. Yoda. R2-D2 is the last surviving member of Team Lightside. He needs to win to keep that team alive. And looking to make sure that that does not happen is our fellow co-host, Darth Evader.
Formidable Evader has been thus far, but also, so too, the droid has been.
Precisely. So let's not waste any more time and get ourselves up to the Carbonite Gate.
In for much excitement we should all be.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
This is quite the matchup. On your left is our co-host, Darth Evader. His vehicle is low, long, and built for straight line speed.
On your right, R2-D2 is short, tall, and slow, but good in the curves his vehicle is.
They could not be any more different. This is going to be quite the show. Good luck to both racers.
Close they are!
Evader holds the lead. They both make it across the line.
And for the first time, Evader sliding on his helmet he is not.
Clearly, both of these contestants came to race and were totally in the zone. While Evader's vehicle is built for speed, R2 does a great job keeping up.
Always on Evader's tail he is.
R2 does go into a spin as he jumps to hyperdrive.
And causes him to land wrong, it does.
He flips his way into Echo Base and slides across the line.
But already crossed the finish line Evader had. Unfortunate for R2 it is. Valiant effort he made.
Unfortunately, we do not give points for valiant efforts. Like Evada just proved, if you want the win, you have to cross the line.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
We are back at the Carbon Night Gate.
Eager to start, both racers are.
As are we all. So let's save the chatter and get right to the countdown.
Neck and neck they are.
Evada still leads. Oh no! Arthur crashes.
Or perhaps strategy that was.
Well, that took quite the turn at the end, didn't it? And what exactly did you mean when you questioned if that was strategy?
Rest, youngling. When the time comes, tell you I will. But for now, notice how tight to one another stick they do.
It almost seems like R2 is trying to make up for what he lacks in speed by drafting closely behind Evada. And it actually seems to be working. That is, until they get to the jump to hyperdrive.
And here, my question of strategy is, notice when the ramp he hits into Echo Base safely, Evader makes it not.
So are you saying, since R2 couldn't keep up, he hit that ramp on purpose to ruin Evada's chance at a win? Amazing. That droid would have to be a genius to come up with that strategy.
Raced against him I have. All too well how crafty this droid is, do I know.
Mr. Yoder is right. R2 has never won a race by crossing the line. He has only advanced by hitting the secret warp and scoring an instant win. And since no one finished in this heat, no one gets a win. If R2 is planning to hit the instant win, he must do it in the next heat or face elimination.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
We are back at the gate for the final heat.
Final chance for the droid this is.
And I am certain that our co-host will try his hardest not to let that happen. Hold on to your seats, creatures across the galaxy, because this one is about to begin. Evada leads. They both make the jump, and once again, Vader on his helmet and across the line.
Comes up short, the droid does.
Let's take one final look at that amazing action to analyze it all. You can see Evada pulls hard off the line once the carbonite gate goes up.
And down the hill, only bigger his lead gets.
Then, by the time they're coming around the Tattoo Inn, Evada has a 5 to 6 land speeder lead.
Catch up, the droid almost does at much too far.
But that's Evada's home world, and he's not going to let that happen.
And like so many times before, enters Echo Base on his big ding-dong helmet he does.
And R2 comes spinning dizzily out of control.
Give it his best, the droid did. Unfortunately, enough it was not.
Well, what was enough was Evada's second win. That gives him the wins he needed not only to secure his place in the final, but to also knock Team Lightside completely out of this tournament.
Had Jake not turned to the dark side, then perhaps a chance the light side would still have. But too angry and bitter is he.
We will have to see if that will be enough to grant him a win in the finals.
Hope so do I. Already overinflated Evader's ego is. With the championship win, no longer will it fit in his big ding-dong helmet.
Who knows? Please join us next time, fans, for the final race in this galactic tournament. Until then, I'm your host, Mary Sue, signing off and saying, may the Force be with us. Always.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Welcome back to the Scrapyard, friends. I'm your host, Mary Sue. At last, the moment we've all waited for, the finals. And with me tonight is one of my two co-hosts, Mr. Yoder.
To all the fans, my greetings I give.
And as you all may know, our other co-host is one of tonight's finalists, Darkside team captain himself, Darth Vader.
And facing Jake Skywalker he will be, although not originally. On the dark side he was. Turned he was, because so disgruntled and bitter he is.
It has been an exciting tournament thus far, and I'm sure these finals will not be any different. So let's get up to the Carbonite Gate and get this event started.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
On your left, Jake Skywalker is, and Darth Vader. To your right, he is.
These vehicles are very close in terms of size and speed. We are going to be in for a very exciting race.
Even they are.
Vader opens up a lead. Vader crashes into the camera.
Again, see that? I must.
Well, it seems like this one started off with a literal bang.
Ended with a bang. Actually, it did.
You have a point. So let's take a look how it all happened.
Off to a strong start, both racers were.
However, after the turn around the Tatooine, Evada takes the lead and just keeps on expanding it.
In much too far. Catching up, Jake attempts.
But that's Evada's homeworld, and he knows it all too well. Just look at that beautiful drift into the turn. Only a natural-born pod racer could ever pull that off.
And yet, with all that natural talent, land the jump he cannot.
Nonetheless, he does manage to force push himself and avoid the surprise obstacles we lined up at the finish line.
Crashes into the vehicle, manages he does not. But about the camera, same cannot be said.
And right before Evada knocked out our camera signal, we do see that Jake was able to land the jump and avoid the vehicles as well.
Yet again, on his big ding-dong helmet, Evader crosses the line. A graceful finish it is not, but a win on the scorecard. Still it manages to put
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
With that win, the pressure really is on Jake. He has to win this one to have a shot at the championship.
Or, in this heat, the secret warp he can hit. Win it all right now he can, with an instant win.
Very true, though I am sure Darth Vader will be trying everything he can not to let that happen.
Side by side they are.
Was that a force push? Was that a force push?
Alive, Jake keeps it. A replay we must watch.
Wow, what a comeback. Let's break this all down.
Even off the line and down the Nimbus neighborhood they are.
And look at this move. Right at the end of the Tatooine, Evada executes a beautiful block. It slows down Jake just enough for Evada to get the lead once they are in much too far.
And also, both are fast into the jump to hyperdrive.
And perhaps too fast. They both go so far, almost completely beyond the ramp. And that overshoot is what left Evada so little room to maneuver once he got to Echo Base. And it looks like Jake actually force pushes Evada into the other vehicles.
Truly, to the dark side, he has fallen. A horrible display of sportsmanship that move is.
Horrible, but effective. It's as if he was trying to skip being an apprentice altogether and go right to being the master by being the first one across the line.
Yet first he is not, because finally, Farm Boy Luke's land speeder crosses the line. The first time ever this is.
Right you are. Unfortunately, he is not racing, and his chances at the title have gone up in flames like an R5 unit with a bad motivator. On the other hand, look at Jake. He actually manages to go under Evader as he's crashing through the air, and then he uses the force again to turn his vehicle around to end up on his wheels.
Yes, a very controlled display of the Force that was. Unfortunately, a display of the dark side it is.
Lord Evader cannot be happy with that result. Will his apprentice supersede him and actually pull off the greatest upset in galactic history?
Hopefully, a pressure release valve Evader's big ding-dong helmet has, because inside, fuming with rage he must be.
Scrapyard Diecast Racing.
Here we are, gentle beings, in what could be the last heat of this tournament.
Someone soon the champion will become.
Let's not waste any more time and get this countdown started.
So tight it is!
Jake tries to block. Over the jump! And they're both on their bonnets and across the line.
Extremely close that one was!
This one really could have gone either way. As in every other heat of this race, they were both evenly matched and ran extremely tight.
But in much too far, a pit maneuver attempt Jake does.
But Evader manages to straighten out even though he goes head over heels at the jump.
And so too does Skywalker.
Jake looked like he was fighting hard to try to pass while on his roof, but the obstacle vehicles gave him little room for any more tricks.
And at upside down blocking Jake successful Evader was. Oh, excuse me. A message from the studio droids receiving am I? Needed in the loading bay, it appears I am. Back soon I shall be.
Oh, okay. That seems a little odd. But not to keep the fans waiting, I shall proceed on to the scorecard. Even though he was close does not put a win on the scorecard. So, having his second win, Evader not only wins this race, but also wins the entire tournament, thus making Team Darkside the overall winner. Wait a moment, gentle beings across the galaxy. The studio droids are sending me a message that Lord Evader is already in the docking bay with his prizes. What prizes? There are no prizes in this tournament. It was my understanding that the only prize was the prestige of knowing that you had fairly beaten your opponents on the field of competition. Let me see if I could patch us through to the docking bay. Lord Evader, I say, Lord Evader, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. But whatever you have to say, make it quick. My shuttle is about to leave, and I need to start my new apprentice's training as soon as he thaws.
What? What are you talking about? Oh my goodness! Did you carbon freeze Jake Skywalker?
Of course. He was part of my grand prize.
What do you mean, part of? Oh, by the Force! Did you disintegrate the other contestants as well? Mr. Yoda, the others! I thought we clearly said no disintegrations.
No, you said no disintegrations. I told you from the beginning that I would win, and I have done as I have foreseen. Now, I am claiming my prize and leaving for much too far with my trophy. You can keep the rest for your collection. My departing gift to my co-hosts. Or should I say, remaining co-host?
I can't believe you did that to poor Mr. Yoda.
Why are you worried? Was it not you who once said, no one is ever really gone? That is except for me. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentle beings, I can't believe that this has happened. What am I going to do? Oh, I've got it. I'll just put everything back the way it was before we got here, and no one shall be the wiser. You and you. Wakey wakey, come here and listen to me.
Huh? What?
What is thy bidding, my master?
Both of you will remember none of this. There was never, nor will there ever be anything to do with a Scrap Wars tournament. As soon as I leave and close the door, you will awaken as if nothing happened.
Al, I'm sorry, were you saying something?
I think I was, Barry. I think I was about to announce the next new tournament.
Well, what is it?
I forgot. Something really weird is going on. Hold on a sec. I know who could help. Bob. Paging Wild Bob. Can you hear me?
Just hold on a tick. Let me answer this. It's the work line. This is Wild Bob.
Have you noticed anything strange going on?
Have I seen anything strange? Absolutely not. Heck, I haven't seen much of anything. Since you fellas haven't called in so long, I've spent the past few weeks having a blast with my new friend.
New friend?
More importantly, weeks?
Yeah, he's a big hairy fella. We've been kicking back talking about being pilots while drinking some kind of blue milk. At least I reckon that's what we've been talking about. I can't really understand him too well. I think he might be speaking Portuguese. Say hello to my friends back at the office. Now, if you fellas don't mind, I was in the middle of a story. So anyway, like I was saying, they got struck by some kind of ray and was shrunk down to the size of toys. Can you believe that?
You know what, fans? Until we could straighten all this out, this is Barnabas Tone, signing off and saying good night.
Well, fans, sorry about the false alarm. I guess join us next time when we really will be announcing our next new tournament.